When I moved into my home in Maple Ridge, I thought I'd found my slice of suburban peace. The streets were quiet, the neighbors friendly enough, and the only sound at night was the occasional crickets chirping. It was the kind of place you could walk your dog at 10 p.m. without worrying about anything. The kind of place where people left their garages open, the smell of fresh grass in the air, and the hum of the occasional lawn mower in the distance. Everything felt normal. But that normalcy didn't last. It wasn't long before I learned that peace in Maple Ridge came with a catch. And it all started with one small encounter that I should have seen coming. It was an ordinary Wednesday evening when I pulled up to my driveway after a work trip. My suitcase was still in hand when I saw something I never expected. There was a moving truck parked in front of my house, the garage door wide open, and a couple of guys wrestling a busted-up pool table into my pristine garage. I froze. I shouted, "What the hell do you think you're doing?" The guys barely even looked up. One of them just shrugged and said, "Sorry, bro, HOA orders. Gotta clear out some storage stuff." Storage stuff? I was still processing what was going on when I stepped over a bucket of used candles on my driveway. That's when I saw her, Karen, the HOA president, standing by the truck with her clipboard like some kind of self-appointed dictator. She wasn't even pretending to be sorry. "Oh, we're just utilizing your garage as part of the new community storage initiative," she said, all smug and condescending. "It's fair that everyone shares their unused space. You weren't home, so we assumed you'd be cooperative." I stood there blinking, trying to process what I had just heard. I couldn't believe what she was saying. The audacity. But I kept it cool, didn't let her see how much it rattled me. "So," I asked, "you're saying this is legal?" She smiled that fake smile of hers and handed me a stapled packet of bylaws. I glanced at it, and no surprise, there were typos everywhere. It looked like something a fourth grader would have printed out during recess. But Karen didn't care. She just strutted off, satisfied with herself, leaving me standing there, half in disbelief, half in rage. Now, I love my garage. It's not just a storage space. It's where I work on stuff, unwind, you know? The smell of cedar and motor oil, that's my peace. But now it smelled like mothballs and regret. Over the next few days, more junk started piling up in my garage. A tower of rusted filing cabinets, a bunch of old fish tanks, 3 broken microwaves, and no kidding a velvet painting of dogs playing poker. Every time I opened that garage door, I found something new that shouldn't have been there. It felt like a nightmare. I tried to complain to the HOA, but Karen had already locked the board's contact info behind a fake maintenance excuse. I even reached out to the city, but since this was a private HOA matter, they couldn't help me. I was on my own. And that's when it hit me. This wasn't just about some junk in my garage. It was about control. Karen wanted to show everyone that she ran the show and nobody could stop her. But here's the thing, I'm stubborn as hell. And I'm petty. And those two things, they beat power when you have internet access and some free time. So, I started documenting everything. Photos, videos, notes. I was like a war correspondent covering the suburban junk invasion. The real kicker came when I found out that Karen had forged a vote to make this whole storage initiative official. 6 neighbors told me they never even saw a vote. That was the moment I decided to go for broke. I was going to take back my garage and I was going to do it in front of the entire neighborhood. I had an idea, something I'd seen on an old reality show. What if I held a Facebook Live auction? If they wanted to treat my garage like a junkyard, fine. I'd turn it into a public event. So, I started teasing it online. Guess what my HOA gave me for free in Junkapalooza this Saturday? I even made a flyer and slid it under Karen's door just to let her know things were about to get loud. When the day came, I hit that go live button, and let me tell you, my phone lit up like a Christmas tree. The VYUs came flooding in, and within minutes, I sold a lava lamp for $40 and a VHS player for $70. People were eating it up. They loved the backstories I gave the items. I even sold a mounted deer head, named Lester, and someone asked me to sign it. By the time I was auctioning off an unopened box labeled Todd's emergency underwear kit, Karen came barging in. She stormed into my garage like a deranged mall cop and screamed, "Stop this instant. You're committing a felony." I just looked at her, cool as a cucumber, and said, "Actually, Karen, you're the one who committed property fraud by using my garage without permission. And guess what? This whole thing is being recorded." The live chat exploded. Karen tried to grab my phone, but I moved fast, and the camera caught her flailing like a fish on a trampoline. That's when a local news reporter, who had been watching the stream, showed up on my driveway and asked for an interview. Karen was not HOA-ing it. "I'm calling the police," she shouted, but I just smiled and said, "Great. Can you do it on speaker for the audience? Everyone's dying to hear your legal theory." She stomped off, and 5 minutes later, I sold her patio umbrella for $20. The next few hours were a blur, but by the time I wrapped up the auction, I had raised overdue Law 2000 and had 100,000 VYUs. But I wasn't done yet. The morning after the auction, I woke up to find a neon orange violation notice taped to my door. It wasn't HOA standard tap, it was masking tape, and the handwriting was pure Karen. It accused me of unauthorized community liquidation and suspicion of inciting social media riots. I laughed. I peeled it off and stuck it to my fridge like a trophy. But things escalated quickly. Later that day, 2 police officers knocked on my door, and, of course, Karen was standing there with a folder of evidence printouts from her investigation. She said I sold priceless family heirlooms and VYOLAT property rights. I let the officers in, offered them water, and then showed them everything security footage, the original deed to my house, and most importantly, the footage of Karen using bolt cutters to get into my garage. When I hit play, one of the officers raised an eyebrow. "So she organized this?" he asked. I nodded. They thanked me and left. Karen, on the other hand, just stared at me through the screen door like she'd seen a ghost. Before she left, she hissed, "You've made a powerful enemy." To which I replied, "Well, maybe you should have picked a different garage to mess with." Then, I went back to my Facebook stream. This time, I titled it, "HOA threatens to arrest me for selling garbage they dumped." Views exploded again, and the comments were nonstop. One woman even reached out to me privately, saying she used to be on the HOA board until Karen forced her out. She had proof that Karen had been forging votes for years and manipulating board decisions. That's when I knew it wasn't just about my garage. This was bigger. I started sending the evidence I hate mails, footage, screenshots to neighbors, and trusted HOA members. And just like that, the neighborhood started waking up. People who had never spoken to me before were now VYing and offering support. Karen's reign was crumbling. But I had one final bombshell left. The video where Karen admitted to election fraud. I uploaded it to Facebook, and within hours, it went viral. The city council got involved, and Karen's power was officially broken. The HOA voted her out, and the board started rewriting bylaws with transparency and community input. And you know what? I didn't just win my garage back. I won the community. The garage that was once filled with junk now became a symbol of resistance, of standing up to petty tyranny. So to everyone out there stuck under the thumb of an HOA dictator, remember, sometimes all you need is a smartphone, a bit of humor, and the will to go live.